quietly. Thank you. Hereby open the public meeting for the zoning board of appeals, 6:30 p.m. I don't know. Lucky for you, Matt. We just got word that appeals number 502 and 503 have been tabled. So just jump to the front of the line. I don't know, Dan, can I twist your arm into reading the notice?
Hereby given that the Village of Homer Zoning Board of Appeals will meet in person at the Town Hall in Homer located at 31 North Main Street on November 30th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. to consider the following pursuant to the current Village of Homer Code of Ordinances. Appeal number 504, 53 Copeland Avenue, Homer, New York, requesting a variance to remove a garage from a place with a new one in the same location less than required setback. As stated earlier, appeal 502 and 503 have been taken.
Thank you, Dan. First off, we start off with explanation of what you're trying to do. So Matt, if you could just kind of
demolishing the old garage, is a 2-story building, and building a new hold-on in place. Same footprint. Only difference is second story deck facing the north. It's the only, I guess, difference in what currently exists. Trouble being, setback is maybe 5 feet from my neighbor's house.
okay. We'll move on to the board member questions. Actually, isn't there a public? They have public here. Yeah, we don't have.
Maybe you want to read the letter then.
Yeah, I will add that, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll open it to any public, but since you're the only public here, I will read a letter from your neighbor, Scott Evner. I said, this is a voicemail transcription. This is Scott over there. This might be a little disjointed because it's audio to text kind of thing. So
I will say that I did call him and confirmed everything, so and he is copacetic with what's happening.
yeah, it's all in favor of it, but just for the record, yes, this is Scott over there. I live at Fitchpath, Copeland Ave, and I understand there's a zoning board meeting tonight for variance for Matt and Katrina Owens at 53 Copeland Ave, which is my neighbor. I have no objection to variance whatsoever because there really is no other place they can put this building that has been that way forever. And so I have no objections. So I hope this helps. Thank you. Any questions, feel free to give me a call. Thank you. Bye. So that is that the neighbor to the?
That's the 5 foot setback.
That's the one that's directly near. Okay.
That's this one?
Yes,
This
that's the neighbor that's affected by the setback.
I'll say the neighbor stated that he's thankful that it's getting changed because
I think
dilapidated. It may fall on his side of the fence.
most of the neighborhood, I think, would be happy to see it gone.
Yeah. I guess if there are no other public comments, we'll move on to board member questions. Anybody have anything they want to ask?
I just want to clarify. I recognize the issue of putting it in the same footprint, but just for my information, it looks like the garage is 1 foot or 1.4 feet from the property line. And then,
He's got like an entrance to his house with. I mean, there's no way around it, I guess.
yeah,
1 foot at that.
and then it's like to the front of the house, that's 3 feet, another 1.5 feet. So does that door that says entry on here, like go right to your garage?
Almost, it's within, probably 2-3 feet. He doesn't use it. but it's a peculiar place to have an entrance, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I have a couple questions. Is there a reason why, according to the diagram, you have more space in the back? Is there a reason why you are moving it farther back? I mean, is there a tree or something or?
I mean, there's a couple peach trees back there, yeah. I don't know, I guess it continued on that trajectory, I guess the property line, it does kind of move away from the property line slightly, but, I mean, that's where my, I don't know, I don't wanna have to add to my driveway, I suppose.
No, I understand that, it's just that with all this space, if you had moved it, there wouldn't be this, because I drove by it this evening and boy, it is close. And what is the balcony for? Are you gonna have an apartment on the second floor?
No apartment, no, it's just for basically to watch the football games, the soccer games, everything.
Oh,
Have a little,
okay,
little viewing platform area, I guess, but
all right,
let's be in the house.
okay. I'm not a sports fan, that didn't occur to me. Okay.
Can I just clarify what, or ask you to clarify what I think I just heard, is that you could put the garage anywhere in that further back section, but you don't want to because it would require extending the driveway?
That's
what we
would be
said?
part of the reason, yeah.
Is there another reason?
I don't. I mean, like I said, I think that it still require variance, because it would still be. I don't know, without looking at it, within a handful of feet of the neighbor's property line. Anyway,
I was just thinking that the door doesn't come right to your garage, so, you know, your garage is a little separate from your
oh,
neighbor's.
from the neighbor's door,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like I said, he doesn't use that. Anyways, that's not his main entrance. He's never expressed that as a concern to me.
thanks.
Real, that's very.
I never really like, I wasn't like
Yeah.
kind of.
Because the
prepared to
person who
answer
lives
that one.
there now, or you, are not gonna live there in perpetuity. So one or the other, of both parties will be change over time.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking about the longer term aspects of what the property ends up like.
Yeah, and I never really gave that part much consideration, honestly.
So the existing garage is a 2-story as well, and same height you're gonna be building.
Same height, same size, yeah, the, full barn now.
Any other questions, Ben?
Would you want somebody building something that close to you? I mean, if there were, somebody's gonna put a garage on the other side of your house, would you want it that close to you?
I
think
mean,
you're
if
answering
it
my
was the
question.
same situation and it was a dilapidated fallen, like, you know, eyesore. I wouldn't object if that was happening. No, if somebody did that to me, I had, like, listen, I'm sorry. I've had the school within the last 5 years for their capital project that, you know, turned that side field of mine into a basically a bus garage. I had buses backed up to within 25 feet of my kitchen window, you know, and constant flow of traffic, you know, when it wasn't that before. Do I like it? No, not at all. But, you know, I managed it. Dealt with it.
I do have one other thing. In general, setbacks were designed originally and established originally so that fire equipment could get through and reach properties.
Mm,
So that in putting the garage within 2 feet of the neighbor's front door, I'm just wondering if we should send this to the fire department and ask them that since there is the flexibility of it going somewhere else, how they say, would they be able to protect the properties? I mean, given that there's a garage there right now, they're not going around town telling everybody to move their property because the zoning came after the buildings were put in place. But now that it's being moved, it doesn't look like you could get a fire truck down there unless it was in.
Well, yeah, but from what I saw, it's so close. If you had a fire there, that building, the neighbor's building is gonna go like that.
Well, I'm not a fire expert. I
Well,
don't know.
it's
I was
better.
just wondering, should
Yeah.
we
It's
ask
better
the fire
if it-
department
Very close.
what their opinion is? I don't know.
Three
Just
point,
throwing it out there because I know that's where
3.52.
setbacks come from.
3.52 and 1.4, so 5.5 feet from the rear, from the back section of the house. Wow.
I mean, I
Yeah,
can understand that you'd save a lot of money by putting it on the old footprint here. But if you've got all this other room, if it could be moved farther back and over, because there's room, or there appears to be room, to put it someplace else in the backyard.
It's, I don't even know what the property is, but a fraction of an acre is really not that much.
0.29 acres.
Yeah, there really isn't that much to put that.
Well, then this is out of proportion, because if you just look at this, then there is sufficient room here.
They're gonna check that. I don't know.
And if you think in terms of long term, you know, the value of this property, I should think they have trouble selling this place because it is so close.
Last night with the planning board, we brought up on Google Maps, the project, the area, the building, things like that. Would that be of interest to the board just to take a look? You can see the overview, you can see the street view, things like that.
Yeah, if you're able to do that. that'd be helpful.
Google Earth,
Yep,
From
just
the-
Google.
yeah.
Share the screen.
So what's this gonna be, a 2-car garage and then a second floor also, right?
Yep.
I personally think it's too close, but.
Three Copeland, if you're gonna search it, you can get there this quick.
Who's the bus talking about?
There's a garage on an existing slab.
Yes.
That's also,
Okay, can you move it so we can see more of his backyard? Is that, oh, okay, so see, there's, if that's all his, there is room for the garage farther back and in the center. I mean, it's awkward, but it wouldn't be on the line.
issue is always that there's an existing slab. And that's
No, I
that's a big-
understand, no,
that's
I
a large
totally
expense.
understand that, but
Is that kind of the back of your neighbor's house? You said that that's on a door they use. Is that?
That's it right there.
it's set perpendicular to the street.
Yeah, but do they,
So you see street view, maybe you won't be able to see, you might be able to see down it.
is that their driveway on the?
Yeah,
there?
right there.
So they would enter the house on the opposite side of that.
And yes, that's where it is.
So that's not like their front door, that's like the side end. But yeah, I mean, I think there would be room for that. Yeah, it's kind of the existing footprint.
Well, there isn't, you know, there's this thing that jumps out, this side entrance that they apparently don't use.
Do we have any more questions for that, or are we on to the decision part of the meeting here? You guys have any more questions for? Okay, and I just want to make sure that we're drawing a line there, we're in the decision side here.
Nobody need from the maps anymore? Or would you like to keep it up?
That's fine for me.
Which?
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'd say leave it up there.
Yeah,
Okay,
leave it,
very
yeah.
good.
We don't need to
It's helpful.
see us. I mean, my opinion is that yes, that in most cases, if someone were to put a shed or a garage right in the middle of their yard, then they probably could meet the zoning laws. But given that the neighbor bought the house with it like that, and it is kind of improving the existing garage, I'm inclined to say that it's okay to go in the same spot.
I agree. I mean, I can understand if they was putting up a brand new garage there and he wanted, you know, or he wasn't using anything that was existing, you're gonna use the existing slab. I don't see there being an issue improving his property in that way.
I mean, you're gonna incur some more costs trying to jut the driveway around, and it's gonna make it kind of awkward to get to and stuff, so while it would be possible, I don't think it's necessarily feasible.
Zoom in on that entrance to that house. Can you?
Man, I only go so far, it's a little
That's
blurry.
close you get, yeah.
Well, if you try street view, see if it shows.
Enhanced, Dan.
Is that it?
Yeah,
No.
There you go.
yeah. Well, he's taken down most of it, so there's only uprights pretty much when I went by tonight.
That's
I think
actually
that's
more
still,
room than I thought, but based on the drawing.
that's still like input from the fire department.
What would,
They have a firefighter on the.
The distance between the house, your neighbor's house and your garage, is the same as you're showing here for the new one.
Yes.
Too close, but
Is it Mike on the fire?
I am, but I'm not gonna speak to the fire.
Well,
Yeah,
It's
from
just
your
my
experience?
opinion, it's too close.
from a firefighting perspective, not
Yes.
the fire department's
Right.
opinion, but from a perspective of protecting property, which is what.
Yeah, if that barn catches on from there, it'll take that house.
Yeah, I should think in the blink.
So in the event that he doesn't get it, I mean, this is just me talking, and he says, all right, I'm just gonna fix this one, then the building's still there.
No,
You
he's
can't,
that he's taking it down.
what's that?
He's already taken it down. There's only uprights there right now. Right
It's
at
gone.
5 o'clock
Yeah,
at night.
building's
The
gone.
upstairs, because it was class, but the
Yeah,
first floor is a.
The first floor is still there that he could keep. I mean, if he wanted to rebuild that,
not that I saw it tonight. I saw the uprights. You can put, I mean, you can put new siding on it.
right, said it would still remain in the same place.
We got just a framework left.
On the top, I have the framework, but all the walls are intact on
Yeah.
the bottom. Yeah, I mean, that was the option too with the builders, so we could, you know, if this does become a problem, we can, you know, fix what you got. So I don't know. At least in his opinion. This is a metal building too, I mean, that for what
Oh, it is.
will be a metal building,
Okay.
so it'll be, I don't know. From a firefighting standpoint. Probably a little easier to contain.
It'll contain itself. If it's a metal building, it'll contain itself, but it boy could really get going.
Yeah, because his house is kept close too, so it's
Yeah,
kind of a
no, I
wipe out
see
there.
that too.
I think there's lots of houses in the village that are very close to each other and garages that are very close to each other. We're not gonna
Listen, I'm.
solve all the world's
Yeah,
buildings.
I got a 100-year-old garage that was about a foot from my neighbor, so I understand.
Yeah, so
You know.
Yeah,
But
I
we're
know.
not going around doing, code enforcement and, which wouldn't be appropriate anyway, because the code's after the houses, but, we're talking about new, so
Well,
it's
it's
a
not really
different
new, it's
conversation.
replacing it. There's something existing there already. If it was new, there would be nothing
No,
there, is
yeah,
what I'm
I get
saying, and I would be totally against that, but he's trying to improve his property you know, and be cost effective at the same time. I understand where he's coming from there. I mean,
Well, that I don't argue with. I totally understand why he's doing it.
and I don't,
I
I
agree, I do
don't
too, but-
foresee it being an issue. I mean, like you said, what if he just kept it? It'd still be there. You know,
Right.
and then,
But it's not, so,
The neighbor that bought the place with it like that is okay with it continuing to stay like that.
is that who sent the letter?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
his fault. Yeah, that neighbor.
That
right there.
neighbor right there?
Yes. So that goes a long way for me to say that.
But again, I thought that part of our duty was to think long range and not just that neighbor, you know.
Yeah.
50 years from now and somebody else owning it. But then they go into
But-
it knowing this.
Yeah, they would buy it knowing
Yeah.
that, so. You guys want to step through we have to go through the balancing test. We can continue the discussion after that, but this might
I think we're
help
doing full
more.
circle.
Yeah. Okay.
Good point.
All right, so for an area variance, we have to go through the questions of balancing test. The first question, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created.
Yeah.
no,
I would say no, it exists.
no,
No.
No,
Whether the applicant can achieve his goals via a reasonable alternative, which does not involve the necessity of an area variance.
yes,
I don't know how reasonable it is.
To make someone double the cost of their construction.
yeah, but our view isn't to deal with how much things cost, that's.
But
really
that's
not-
reasonable.
I think
That's part of being
Plays
reasonable.
into the reasonable part. Well, we can all vote. I would say, no, I would not call it reasonable to put a garage in the middle of your yard.
We're tallying up the yeses and nos.
Well, yeah, we have to, everybody has to vote. I would say no.
I said no.
And
No.
what was the question?
Can he, can.
Whether
can
the
he-
applicant can achieve his goal via a reasonable alternative, which does not involve the necessity of an area.
Yeah.
Yes,
Two yeses.
He said no.
He says,
Oh, he said
we say
yes.
yeah. Okay, 3 yes. 2 no. Whether the variance is substantial. Yes,
Yes.
I mean, the setback's meant to be 15 feet, I think. and 1.5.
Yeah.
5 yeses. Whether the variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No.
No.
I would say no.
No.
Finally, whether there has been any self-created difficulty.
yes,
Um, I would say no. I mean, he didn't, that building exists and he
Bought it that way.
bought it that way.
No.
no,
Or no's, one yes. So like, last question.
Yes.
Or no, one yes.
I sort of have my mind made up on this one. I understand the concerns. But I think that they are not new or unique with this idea of improving your property. I don't think the harm outweighs the benefit of improving your property, so that's kind of my feeling on it.
Well, I'm against it, however, there already is a precedent of having approved, replacement elsewhere on Copeland from previous meetings, and if we agree to that one, which I agree with, then I have no.
Got it right across the street from me.
Is that the guy who's?
Yeah. Israel?
Yep.
Yeah, then I don't see how we can't, not approve this, even though I don't agree with it.
I just feel like our job is to kind of weigh the harm that some action would do
Yes, I
to a
realize that.
neighborhood, and I don't see a new harm created in this. It's kind of why I'm coming down on it, but.
I guess I see it as perpetrating in existing harm, and I'm thinking of it from the safety perspective. And I'm wondering if we approved it because it was on the same dimensions and slab as previous garage, can we exempt ourselves from any responsibility if there's a fire? And
I don't think.
I appreciate what you're saying, but that's nothing to do with it.
There you go. So somebody doesn't go, but you said we can put this here.
Yes,
What did county planning say?
it's
Probably our problem.
Yeah.
They expressed would you like me to read it on the record?
Yeah.
All right. Staff of the Cortland County Planning Department has reviewed the application submitted by the Village of Homer for a bulk variance that would be needed for tax parcel 76.33-01-27.000 to remove and replace a dilapidated garage in the same location on the property. This property owned by Matt Owens is zoned R2, 1, 2, 3, and 4 family dwelling units with related facilities. This parcel is located within 500 feet of the Cortlandville town border and is therefore subject to GML 239-M regulations. Village of Homer Code here after Code 228-12 residential district indicates that D, the following regulations apply to all uses permitted by the right or after site plan review. 8B, detached garages, accessory buildings, and parking areas must be located behind the front yard line and have a minimum side yard depth of 10 feet and a minimum rear yard depth of 10 feet. Existing non-conforming setback of the existing garages is approximately 1.62 feet in the rear yard. Therefore, applicant seeks a bulk variance in order to demolish the existing garage and replace it with a new structure with the same footprint. The staff has determined that this request is both technically adequate and has no state or countywide impact. Therefore, this bulk variance request is being returned to the Village of Homer without county planning board review. If the Village of Homer still feels that a full review by the county board of planning is necessary, please contact the county planning department as soon as possible.
Thanks.
That should go into play.
That's right. It does, a copy.
Yeah.
And I would say kind of in terms of like a fire that it's really that whole length of that garage is 28 feet back and that house beside it doesn't go back that far. And but if you had to have a fire truck in there, that in that driveway, I feel like a hose would reach any concern. But I'm not a fire.
Well, it's going to have the house. Yeah, question. Is it all right to ask him a question, so?
I don't know. We don't have Joan to yell at us, so I guess I don't know what the real rules are.
Your insurance company have any problem with it being that close to your neighbor?
No,
Didn't say,
my wife typically handles that, but none that I know of, no.
they didn't mention anything about this liability as far as if there was a fire and it being that close or anything like that?
Nothing more of, no.
Okay.
Even then Joan would yell at me if I made a motion, so somebody else has to make the motion.
No, Joe was wrong.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Grant the variance as requested.
You grant, yeah.
I'm no. No,
I got a second.
We don't have a
Hold on, I got a
second.
second.
Fire issue come up and other people besides me are concerned. Could I make a motion that we send it over to the fire department?
No, you got a motion, you have a motion right now.
No, it hasn't been seconded.
Well.
Am I seconding?
Yeah, you
All right, I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All against? Motion did not pass.
Now, do you want to put in a?
Well, yeah, I think I voted no because I don't feel like I have enough information to feel like this would be a responsible decision. So I am, if the fire department says this is not a problem, we have this all over town, we know how to handle this kind of thing, we've got big equipment, whatever, and it's fine with them, I think we should revisit it, and my vote would be yes, go ahead. If they say,
My thing is
It
this,
should
if
be a
we
little-
tell him no, he's just gonna say, keep the building the way it is, and it's
Think
gonna
about
stay
it.
there. You know what I mean? So then what are we proving? You know what
well,
I mean?
I'm
What
not,
are we
I'm
doing?
not saying no, I'm saying I just need that other
I know, but-
information, and if it's
I mean,
not a safety issue, then
but it's already there.
go for it.
It's already there,
It's already
it's a tinder box as it is, and replacing it with a metal building, so it's.
Yeah, that's
It's a big time improvement.
I understand.
I could understand if they were building a brand new structure there, the building's already there, it's been there for probably 65, 70 years. The neighbor's fine with it. I don't see what the issue is.
He went out of his way to,
I know, I can understand if the neighbor is calling saying, I don't want this thing, get rid of it.
Everybody
But
that's
can
affected.
we still ask to have it, the request tabled and contact the fire department?
So they say that, just if we did that hypothetically, and they said, yeah, it's a fire hazard, they're not gonna make them tear it down, now we can just rebuild what's there anyway. So what's the difference?
I think we need to hear from this insurance company and their interpretation of the distance between the garage and the house. Let them
I
contact.
don't think you need, at this point, the ZBA meeting, you have to hear from the insurance company. This point, this board declined the variance application. That's what you did. So that's where he is now, and that's where this board is at.
Can he reapply?
Yeah, you can ask for a reapplication. I'm gonna say some things after this meeting that I think need to be handled. But it's denied.
Planning board last night asked for, in a separate matter, asked for some additional information. And they're meeting, mid-December, to take that information and then make their decision, accordingly. Is that something that this board would entertain if for reapplication? Don't know well, how much more different information to have, but Kevin on, if Kevin wants to, we want to put in an application, get some, additional information if need be. Like I said, fire department, that's fine. Maybe a few other opinions, we part of the package. Would you be, folks be willing to meet that, they're meeting the 13th? I would say, I have to look at it, we have to look at dates, I don't know if the 14th was available or not. But something along those lines, as opposed to just letting it going all the way down, going all the way down to the end of December, which most likely most folks won't be able to be here anyway. And then therefore, we're not meeting till January.
I'm perfectly willing to meet. Could we, it gets to you, could we rescind our vote and table this until December 14th with
What
the
are the dates
additional
you're gonna say?
information?
No, I don't think you should rescind your vote. He can bring another application that has some additional information, hopefully, to address it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I know you're probably not happy at all about this. You're gonna have to bring, if you want, you're gonna have to bring another application. And if you can remember some of the things that were brought in up here to see if you can, try to address those a little bit more to the satisfaction of some of the board members that have voted against this current, application as it's in its form right now.
to bring more compelling evidence, get it on the form of insurance and talk to the fire department.
I
I think of it.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't want to give you legal advice, but yeah, you can
That's
try
what I'm getting at.
things like that. Yeah.
Is there gonna be enough time for public notice to hold that meeting? How much time do you need for that?
We'll work on it, tomorrow afternoon.
We can see that slip away there too.
So if we work on it tomorrow afternoon and get something out, and I'll give the gentleman my card. And I'll work with Kevin, we can obviously put some materials out. Obviously, the notice is gonna be exactly the same to, for as far as what needs to be done, but, we should be able to do that, yeah. Thinking, depending on the dates, which we'll pick up after the meeting.
Okay. The last item was to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
What is the date that? we're
I'll
meeting
get-
again?
I'll give you, you wanna wait just 1 second? I'll give you my card and then I'll get with you.
Motion to approve minutes from last meeting.
Second motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.